Back here on the Ivy League Digital Network, it's the JV race between the defending national champions in the JV, the Harvard Crimson, and the Brown Bears. Harvard has already taken on the Stein Cup with a win in first varsity. We'll have the second varsity coming into our picture momentarily as they've just gotten underway down at the end of the basin. Well, for Harvard, a great start already on the men's side, and now this JV boat looks to continue its undefeated streak that goes back a couple of years now.
Yeah, pretty special. It was a huge win for the JV last year at IRAs and obviously sprints as well. And so they've got obviously lofty expectations.
Harvard's roster in the JV boat looks like this. Jenny Coons, the sophomore, is the coxswain. Ross Jarvis sits in the stroke seat. He's a senior. Junior Travis Taffy sits in seat 7. Then it's freshman Pete Quinton, sophomore Benj Cohen, James Clark, a sophomore, in seat 4. Senior Max Ferguson in seat 3. Senior Chase Buckles, the Harvard captain, in seat 2. Sam Meyer, sophomore, bow. Only Akeem Harzheim and Adam Janes graduated out of that boat after winning the national championship. Meanwhile, for Brown, the coxswains Neil McKenzie, Peter Woolley is the stroke. It's followed by Oscar Bird, And Rajesh, Max Loundis, Charles Patton, David Lazarus, Dan Boasberg, and the bow, John McCann.
Looks like we've got a tighter race here, at least through 400 meters.
It'll be coming into our picture shortly. Harvard will be at the bottom of your picture. Brown will be at the top of the picture. This Crimson group, again, we mentioned the captain of the Crimson is in this second varsity boat, Chase Buckles, a guy who's had to really battle through injuries throughout most of his career. This year moving from the fourth varsity to the JV boat.
Yeah, great story. I've got Harvard at 37 right now. Looks like they've started to take a little bit of a lead over the Brown guys.
A couple of seats right now for Harvard ahead of Brown.
Starting to get a good picture of it. Might be a little bit more than that. Still contact though. Hearing a couple screams out of the Harvard boat though. Might be taking a move here a little early.
They've opened up a 3-seat lead and it may be growing now to a 4-seat lead. Looks like Harvard is in the midst of a move, up 5 seats and now 6 over Brown.
Yeah, they took an early move. They're bringing it to him now. 8 seats. Yeah, this is a good look. And it's Jack Kelly in stroke, right?
I have Ross Jarvis on the roster they sent me, but
it
may be Jack Kelly if you're looking at him.
Nope, my bad.
So
he's out with an injury.
Ross Jarvis in the stroke seat for this Harvard group. You know, we talked about it, Dave, off the air, you and I, that last year the Harvard JV team at the start of the season knew they'd be good. They maybe didn't know they were going to be a national championship type boat. Well, this year they're not going to sneak up on anybody when you're the defending national champions.
No, definitely not. And I think that just flipping back to the race real quickly, it looks like Brown took their famous Bruno 20 at the midway of a race and have pushed back pretty dramatically into Harvard, taking back 3-4 seats. And this is a real race here.
Yep, about a 3-seat lead right now for Harvard. They're on the bottom of your picture, Brown up top, who has something left in the tank for this final 1,000. And remember, it really isn't getting easier anymore because the wind is so intense on the back half of the race now, too.
Yeah, Brown's still moving. Harvard's only up 1 or 2 seats now. So we've got a real race here. Harvard's got to put it together. And you can see the earlier races, the conditions were worse in the first 1,000. That has completely changed, and the conditions are terrible here in the second 1,000.
Bears made the move in the midway point. Neil McKenzie, the coxswain, calling him on, and Brown has gotten back to basically even this race out. It is neck and neck with about 700 meters to go. Harvard's JV team hasn't lost since 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, and Brown is Brown's taking the lead by a seat or 2. This is a really gutty middle 1,000 from Brown. And Harvard they're understroking them. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but the Brown guys have had a really inspired middle 1,000.
Brown's taken over a 2-seat lead. Let's see if the defending national champions have another move left in them. At one point, Harvard was up about 6 or 7 seats. Now Brown's lead is growing. The Bears are up by 3 seats.
Yeah, Harvard needs to kick it into gear here, or this could get ugly. We've got 500 to go. Given the conditions, that'll be probably a minute 45 to make a move, but Brown continues to move out. They've probably got a 4 or 5 seat lead. Not good.
Yeah, looks locked in right about at that 4-seat lead. Now is Harvard making a move, and the Crimson gaining slight ground. Looks like Harvard's come back a bit. Still haven't gained a seat back, though.
Yeah, Harvard just went up, and it looks like you can see the conditions there. Harvard had a little bit of a, I don't want to call it a crab, but not clean. But Harvard's gone back up.
Yeah, they've gained ground again. Now it's a 3-seat lead for Brown and shrinking.
Yeah, we've got, they're about stroke for stroke now, 38-ish. Tough in the headwind, really tough in the headwind. But yeah, Harvard's responded now, and the water's also cleaned up a little bit. We're going to have a real sprint to the finish here.
Boy, this is neck and neck with about 250 meters to go. Jenny Coons, the coxswain for Harvard, checks the Brown boat and now hollers back to her crew.
And it's hard because you weren't working that hard because the wind was so tough on the boat. And now you're in it and you're ready to go. This wind can really mess up a race plan.
Boy, it is dead even now. Closing in on the flag, only a few strokes to go. Harvard's JV boat trying to keep its undefeated streak that has stretched back to 2015 intact. Brown pushing.
I'm not seeing a real change here. I think Brown's going to hold on.
About a 1-seat lead for Brown. They come toward the flag. Does Harvard have anything left?
That looks like a Brown.
Brown wins it and upsets the defending national champs by about a seat.
That's disappointing. Brown really had a great middle 1,000.
The Bears are psyched, too. You see them hitting the water and pumping the fist, knocking off the defending national champs. They came back from 6 seats down early.
Yeah, that was a great fight for Brown. You can see they're real, and that's not typically how Brown would have raced. They like to stay aggressive, and Harvard was aggressive in the first 1,000 there. So really gutty win for Brown.
Boy, that was about as close as it'll get today on the banks of the Charles. Harvard wins at first varsity, but Brown comes back to take the JV race over Harvard. We'll step aside here on the Ivy League Digital Network. When we come back, we'll move back to the women's side, where we'll have the second varsity race between Radcliffe, Princeton, and Cornell on the Ivy League Digital Network.